Welcome back everyone, I'm Craven and this is Final Fantasy XVI. We are still in the midst of finishing up all our final side quests that we have, and the one that we have on the list so far are the last remaining one, and we are halfway through Aiming High, which is a quest to let's just say get the Enterprise off the floor and flying around like a proper ship of Sith should be. And the other two as well. So let's get straight to it, because I'm hoping today we finish off our side quest and next time we can make our first steps towards the Halls of Origins. That would be amazing. Alright, let's find that oil. And again, like I surmised in the last episode, what if we can get the Enterprise off the ground before we head over to the Halls of Origins? Will that trip to it be different? Will we use the Enterprise to get there instead of Dion? I'm very curious if it's gonna work like that, because I would love it if it was that. Alright, so this town is... there it is. I was gonna say, this town is ruined, so where can we find barrels with the oil we need?
Mid's oil. After what happened here, it's a miracle there was any left at all.
Yeah, and having said that, we're gonna look for even more. And there's the other one.
I better get these materials to Mid so she can finish her prototype.
Company.
Yeah, let's leave those goblins alone. They haven't done anything as of yet. And besides, we got more pressing matters, as in Enterprise, flying, that kind of stuff. Because I would love to see it in this playthrough, really. Yes. Always the decision, which way is fastest to the atrium? Through the blacksmith? Or past the
Say what you will.
infirmary? But let's be honest, if you're still working on the prototype of the entire idea, it will still take some time to get the Enterprise flying. But we can always hope, can we?
Mid, tell me this is all you need.
Aw, you make it sound like I asked you to save the world or something.
Tell me this is all you need.
It's most of what I need. After you left, I went over the figures again, and I realized I'd forgotten a 1 and a 0
And
a cogwheel. Just a tiny one, though that's the problem. Gears that small are a bastard to make, and I may have lost the one Blackthorn spent a fortnight toiling over.
wait. The children. When they took apart your scales, there was a tiny brass gear. Now that I think about it, they didn't use it when we put the scales back together.
The young'uns? But why would the... You know what? I don't want to know. I'll keep working on the model. You go and find that cog.
Right, so we'll go have a look for it.
Don't look at me like that, Clive. I already apologized to Blackthorn. Miserable old bugger. Besides, you can't expect me to keep track of every nut and nail floating about this place. It's a mess.
It's your workshop, to make sure it's clean then. But yes, we did do the quest with the kids.
Has Midadol mentioned a new project yet?
Not exactly.
And these kids have a tendency to take everything she makes apart, so...
Then again, when isn't she? Sid, is Mid still hiding from us?
She wasn't hiding. She's fine. She's just busy working on her next project.
A new invention? What is it? What is it? Is it an airship? I bet it's an airship!
Do you think she'll let us help?
That just so happens to be why I'm here. She needs something special, something only you three can provide. A brass gear. A tiny one. One that might fit on, say, a set of scales?
Oh, the one you forgot! We remember!
We saved it, just in case. It's in the bag of bits.
Since your lesson, we've been disassembling, then reassembling everything we can find.
All the pieces that are left over, we keep under our beds, just in case.
That's good to know.
Look! I found it!
This
that
will
all?
make
Just the
Mid
gear?
very happy.
We have more parts if Mid needs them.
That's all for now. But I'll let Mid know about your hoard. Just in case.
Thanks, Sid.
Well, at least they saved the bits they had left over, because just in case someone sits on their chair and it breaks, at least we know where the parts are to fix it. That wasn't too bad.
Well, did they have it?
They did. And they kept it somewhere nice and safe. Will it work?
Will it work? He's perfect! You're a genius, Clive.
What exactly are you going to use it for?
Only the most important job of all. The wings aren't going to move on their own. But with the right cog in the right place... Well, you just wait and see.
Oh, there's a very
do it.
classic model. I love it. A little bit based on Da Vinci, isn't it?
Titan's tits.
It wasn't supposed to fly, was it?
Of course it was supposed to fly. Wouldn't be much of an airship if it didn't. Honestly, these bloody engines are driving me mad. I was so sure this would be the day she soared. The mithril engine was made to make dreams come true. But maybe this is one dream the world's better off without. Show folk how to take flying. It won't be long till they're raining death down on each other. People will lose their homes. Children, their mums and their dads. Like I lost mine.
I'm sorry.
So am I, Clive. So am I. Sorry that I have to choose. Do I follow my head? Or do I follow my heart?
Good question. The first time I stood on the deck of your ship, felt the wind in my hair. It was like I was flying. But imagine how it would feel to actually do it.
My dad always said there were two ways of living life. Chasing a dream or shuffling to your grave. And he were right. Right about a lot of things. Not that I like to admit it. People need dreams to chase. Especially in a world like this. Right. When this is over, I'm gonna take all my mithril engines to Zemeckis and sling them over the edge. I won't have my dream end up turning into someone else's nightmare.
But all that hard work...
All that hard work will not be used for war, Jamie. But it ain't like it'll be gone. Tell me, Clive, have you ever been on a treasure hunt?
Not since Joshua and I were boys. Why do you ask?
Because I'm gonna bury the engine schematics and leave behind a little riddle telling people where to find them. A really hard one, so that only the most dedicated dreamers will ever be able to work it out. Ooh, I can picture it now. Some daft general squinting at the words with a gormless expression on his mug. Like that one, yeah.
Right.
Kinda sad we don't get a flying airship, but I do understand her reasoning. She loves her dreams, but if it ends up being used as a weapon against people, then don't build it at all.
If I'm putting this engine at the end of a treasure hunt, I'll still need to make it a treasure worth hunting for. Won't be much of a prize if it couldn't even make a toy boat fly after all. My dad always said, dream big. But it ain't the size of a dream that's important, is it, Clive? Only that it's a good one. And I reckon I've got a fair few good uns left in me.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, but a flying Enterprise? Come on, that would have been great. They wouldn't be reliant on the dominance to fly. Ooh, purple airship.
What shall I do with your model? You spent a lot of time on it. We both did.
What, that old thing? Not healthy to cling to your failures, Clive. They'll weigh you down, you know.
Sound advice.
Still, I suppose my prototypes will probably be worth a fair bit when I'm as famous as Bart's the Builder. Seeing as you're always strapped for coin, suppose I can give it to you. Just make sure you get a good price when you do come to part with it.
I'd say that was up to you as much as me.
Like he would ever sell it, really. He will treasure it as all his other memories on that shelf. I'm sure of it. Alright, so that means we have 2 quests left. Let's go talk to Hippocrates, see what he needs. And hopefully it will not be a super big one. I might end up making this episode a bit longer if it means completing both of the quests, but let's first see what the quests are.
There's something about it. I feel like it's calling
And let me guess, he's gonna ask us to find a book of some kind. One hidden tome with ancient knowledge that will help us.
Lawsman Harpocrates. I received your note.
Ah, yes. I expect you're wondering what this is all about.
You spoke of making amends with Dion. But I can't imagine what for.
Then I should begin by telling you that I was once his tutor. This was some years ago, of course, before I joined Sid in his hideaway. At that time, I was counted among the foremost scholars of Oriflamme, and was accordingly invited to the palace to supervise the young prince's education, all to ensure that the future emperor had a firm grounding in, well, everything an emperor should. History, religion, commerce, government. Alas, our time together was cut short when Dion left to join the Dragoons, his studies no longer being deemed necessary. I had not expected to meet with him again, least of all here.
Have you spoken with him?
No, I have yet to find the right moment. His Highness always seems so preoccupied, especially when alone. I would not wish to disturb his ruminations with idle words of greeting. Not when I know he dwells upon the evil Ultima had him commit in the Dominion.
The guilt weighs heavily on him, I know. But as you say, that was Ultima's doing. Surely you can't blame yourself.
When I first met him, it was not guilt, but his people's expectations that weighed heavily upon him. And I did nothing to ease that burden. He bore it alone, until the day he could not bear it any longer. It is one of my greatest regrets that I only ever offered him my wisdom, when what he truly needed was friendship. The blame for Dion's transgressions lies not only on his shoulders, but on mine.
I see. I'm ready to help you in any way that I can.
Then I beg that you bring me a wild wyvern tail. Apothecaries across the ages agree that even to glimpse such a flower is to be granted inner solace. Fabulists and fraudsters all, of course. But there is oft a seed of truth to be found where even the most outlandish opinions align.
Well, it can't hurt to try. Where can I find this flower? And how will I know it?
You have seen cultivated wyvern tails before, I trust. The lily-white blossoms from whose roots the poisonous ink for the brand is distilled. Well, those which grow in the wild differ only in their purple hue. The harsher the environment in which they are raised, the deeper the color. There is a waterfall in Rickmal's roost across the strait, where the flowers once grew in abundance. Whether they still survive there, I know not. But try as I might, I can find no likelier location.
It's all right. I'll find you a wyvern tail one way or another.
Thank you, Clive. And please, be safe.
Alright, they'll probably give him an opening to talk to Dion, so let's just grab it for him. Why not? Let's see. This around the law. And of course we need to be at the Ash. Where exactly is it? The Angry Cap. Alright. Seems extremely straightforward. We just need to get out of town so we can summon our chocobo. And let me guess, if we want to grab that wyvern tail, it's going to be protected by an actual wyvern. That's okay. As long as I have the chance to beat it, I'm sure we'll be okay.
Let's go. Faster!
Did we ever come across this bridge? Probably, since we already have the map piece for it. Ah, here. Yeah. Now I remember. We made short time of getting through this area. That's why it's not very deep engraved in my mind. Yeah, sorry, didn't mean to let you ride that stick.
Seems this place has been flooded twice over. Purple flowers blooming next to a waterfall. Shouldn't be too hard to find. Be safe.
Yeah, let's just get rid of that worm here. Straight into stagger mode. Yeah, it's only level 38, so we shouldn't have too much trouble with it, I guess.
Titan! Too slow.
Stop hopping around so much. Perfect. Yeah, this should take him down mostly. Just so we have a little bit of extra time and peace and quiet to pick the flowers.
Here they are. Might as well pick enough for a bunch, I suppose.
Alright, that might be a very good idea. Now let's go back to the hideaway. It's always in my mind that when we're out of the hideaway and I see multiple quests on the map that I want to do all the things out on the map before heading back to the hideaway, but this might be better so we don't get our information mixed up.
Oarsman, I found the flowers you were looking for.
You did?
I think I did.
You did indeed. My dear boy, thank you.
You wanted to make Dion a gift of one, did you not? Shall I invite him to join us?
Oh, I don't...
It's no trouble. I'll go and fetch him.
Yeah, because if you wait for him to make up his mind, it will still be a few weeks, maybe even years, before he attempts it. And seeing as where we are going later for the main story, yeah, it's maybe better to just get it over with.
Your Highness, would you do me the honor of accompanying me?
No. It is time, then.
No. Only to the shelves. Our lawsman has something he'd like to give you.
Master Harpocrates. No. I dare not show my face before him. Not after everything I have done. I have taken countless innocent lives. And ruined countless more. All because I was weak. I have sworn to atone for my crimes or die in the attempt. But were I to meet with him again, and see in his eyes what I have become, I fear that my resolve might falter.
Then that is all the more reason to do it. Test your resolve. Prove to yourself, and to him, how strong it truly is.
You are right. I must, at the very least, offer him my gratitude. Very well, then. Take me to him.
Follow me.
Yeah, it would be good for both of them.
Even now, I hesitate to approach him. What must he think of me?
You'd be surprised.
Master Harpocrates, pray, accept my apologies for leaving your tutelage before my studies were complete. Your lessons opened my mind to a world quite unlike the one I had imagined from within the gilded confines of the palace. And I shall be forever grateful for the efforts you made to enlighten me.
Lift up your head, Your Highness. The deeds of youth require no apology. That you took the time to visit me says much about the man you have become. Now, there is something I would like to show you.
Is that a wyvern tail? The color is unfamiliar to me.
Because it is unique to those found in the wild. Something in the harsh environments in which they grow lends them this striking hue. Their roots are indistinguishable from those of their hothouse cousins, but once they bloom, the difference is immediately apparent. In this flower, I see you, Your Highness. Its roots were the roots of a wyvern tail, with all that implies. But they do not define it, just as yours do not define you. I want you to have it, that it might remind you of this truth.
Master Harpocrates, I would ask of you a service. Keep your gift until I have fulfilled my duty to the realm, for only then shall I be deserving of it.
As you wish, Your Highness. I shall await your return.
Our roots do not define us. No wonder my stepmother didn't like him. For reuniting me with memories I had thought long lost. I shall not forget this.
Even if it's just a little, he deserves a peace of mind.
Thank you, Clive. Were it not for you, I fear I might never have found the right moment to speak with him. Not to mention the wyvern tales. I shall plant their seeds, that I might not disappoint His Highness upon his return.
I hope the soil in the hideaway is to their liking.
Why, these flowers bloomed in the bleak, black wastes of Waloed. I'm sure Nigel's yard will suit them to a T. When it comes to expressing one's gratitude, I find that words are seldom sufficient. Here.
What's this?
A stolas quill. Or more precisely, my stolas quill. 'Tis said that an owl's feathers are steeped in the wishes it hears over its long lifetime. All those words just waiting to pour out onto the page. So consider this my wish for you. That one day, you may put down your sword and pick up that pen.
Well, when that day comes, I'll certainly have a lot to write about. Thank you, Harpocrates. It shall have pride of place in my chamber.
Quest complete. Ah, that's a nice one as well. And in the end, when he's retired, he's gonna write the book that's called Lord of the Eikons. Yes, and we'll set the entire road that he just took in order to get to the end. Reduces Gigaflare cooldown time by 6 seconds. Oh, I love all these cooldown accessories. You can just put it on the one move you like the most. Perfect. Alright, that remains one quest left. Well, we are going to check our letters at the end of it to see if it's actually our last one. But I think we are definitely getting there. And I also, of course, want to watch the Wall of Memories to see if we've got all of our items at the end. Or if we're missing one or two. Because we've been very diligent in trying to do all the quests that we can find. And now we only have to see if we actually succeeded at it. Okay, so those are the gates. It's very cool that you can see it from wherever you are.
What is it? Oh, please. Just make it stop. I'm scared.
Don't worry, soon enough, there won't be things to be scared of anymore. We will take care of it.
Fly, Ambrosia.
Do we get to see the other side of the gates? See what's there, what it looks like? If that city is behind the gates, then I will be definitely curious to see what's behind it. Even if it means it will give us a shit ton of new quests to do, I will gladly take it. I wonder if it's still busy with people trying to get through it.
It can't be Rutherford, can it?
Turncoats and cowards, the lot of you! If it's a fight you want, it's a fight you shall have!
Allow me.
I don't need your...
Please, Field Marshal. Oblige him. This won't take long.
You're
Yeah.
right. It won't.
With the weapon we have,
Men,
it's definitely
Finish
gonna be
him.
easy. And let's top it off with a bit of fire. Enemies demolished.
A little longer than I'd have liked. Field Marshal Havel, I presume. Are either of you injured?
No, my lord. You arrived just as our escort turned on us.
Fucking traitors. I'd heard reports of soldiers in the outlying regions abandoning the oaths they swore. But I hadn't thought the corruption had reached so close to the heart of the Republic. It's a fucking disgrace. Your interfering old bastard of an uncle tried to warn me, of course. My lord Marquis. Or is Sid the Outlaw more to your liking?
Call me what you want. It doesn't change who I am, or the urgency of the message I bring. My uncle has a plan to right the realm, and he needs your help to see it through.
Before I agree to anything, I'd have you answer one question. What do you stand to gain from all this?
I won't deny that I might benefit from further chaos. But I seek a new beginning for all of us. And while the choices I've made may not always have been the right ones, I know I made them for the right reasons. For so long, so many of us have been told how we could live, how we could die, when it should have been our decision all along. Now we have a chance to put things right. But in order to take it, we must stand together. Even if it be beside those with whom we don't see eye to eye.
Certainly not the words I expected from an outlaw. But perhaps your uncle was right. You are no ordinary outlaw. I'll never hear the end of this. All right. I'll start by ordering my most trusted guard to bring the Dhalmekian fringes under control. Next, I'll make contact with my counterparts in the Imperial Army and see if I can't convince them to try and restore order in their own territory.
Thank you, Field Marshal.
But they are not the only ones we will need to convince.
What do you mean?
I don't doubt that I can bully some sense into a few generals. But those they answer to require a different kind of persuasion. And when it comes to honeyed words, well, we will need an envoy. One who can court even the most stubborn of statesmen. You, perhaps.
I'm flattered. But I'm no diplomat either. And I have other problems to attend to. What we need is a skilled arbitrator. And I may know just the person.
Is that so? And would he happen to be an outlaw too?
Of a different kind, perhaps.
Uncle?
Beggars can't be choosers. I suppose we'll all have to find a little of the outlaw in ourselves if we're to make it through this. Very well. Send your man to me right away.
I shall.
Is Clive gonna send his uncle here as a representative?
My Lord Marquis. Your Lord Uncle bade me escort the Field Marshal to his manor in Port Isolde.
And I will see that my associate joins you there.
Very good, my lord.
An envoy. I'm not sure I'm the man to talk anyone round. I can barely convince my brother to take his medicine. No. This is a job for someone with experience. Someone like Quentin. I hope I can convince him at least.
Quentin, of course. I think we can convince him. Alright, so let's see. It does all connect, doesn't it? And he's definitely someone with a passion for it. I wonder how things have been going down here. If they had any trouble with the Akashic. Ah, come on, this is 100 yards away. I'm not gonna summon my Chocobo for a little walk like that. And well, Clive says he needs to convince him. Come on. He should be more than willing to, isn't it?
Quentin, I have a proposal for you.
Do you now? Something tells me you'll be asking more of me than a cask of Gotand gold. Go on then. Propose. You'd have me convince the chiefs and chamberlains of the realm that they should simply swallow their pride and do the one thing that has proved impossible for thousands of years. Was there anything else? Perhaps I can fetch you a meat pie as well.
I know it's a lot to ask, but I can think of none better suited to the role.
And you'd have me give up what little I have left to do it. I told you, Clive. The people of Lostwing are my family, and I cannot abandon them. You'll have to find someone else.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So am I.
And why might that be?
What he's asking. How's it any different to what you've done so far? They want you to speak for those who can't speak for themselves. That's what you do best. If it's the vineyard you're worried about, we'll see that the grapes are picked and the tons filled. You know we will.
It's not that.
Then what is it? You said yourself we're family. Don't you trust us?
You know that's not what I'm...
Then what are you saying? That only we are worth saving? Why turn your back on everyone else? You convinced us we could build new lives for ourselves, and if you can do that, who's to say you couldn't convince the entire realm?
A stirring argument. I fear that any rejoinder I make might fall somewhat flat by comparison.
So you'll join us?
Where do you need me?
Field Marshal Havel will want to speak with you in person. He's currently in Port Isolde. I can arrange for a party of Cursebreakers to accompany you there.
That would be very much appreciated. I hear the roads are far from safe these days.
Hopefully not for long. My uncle will want to know that his plan is taking shape.
Any statesmen we speak with are liable to resist our entreaties if they feel that what little power remains to them is at stake. They must be dealt with skillfully. I shall not repeat the errors of my past.
Like we said before, he is the perfect man for it, and if his bears weren't here, we wouldn't have been able to convince him. And they were right. If he can convince them to pick back the pieces of their life and do what needs to be done, what difference is it in doing it all across the realm? I'm sure Uncle will be more than happy with the outcome.
Uncle, I bring good news. The Field Marshal has agreed to your plan.
Ha! Of course he has. I didn't doubt you for a moment, dear boy.
Rutherford is accompanying him back to your manor in Port Isolde as we speak. They will await your return there. As will one other.
One other? Who, exactly?
Lord Havel was concerned that even if he could get the realm's armies to agree to an accord, he might not be as successful in convincing those with political power. He asked if I might have a solution, and I suggested a certain Imperial Lord Magistrate turned Liberator.
One of your co-conspirators?
Master Quentin would probably call me one of his, but yes.
Another outlaw, then. Just the thing we need to put these rotten politicos in their places. Good thinking, Clive.
I'm glad you approve.
The more the merrier, eh?
Uncle, assuming Havel and Quentin can solve our problem with the armies, you still haven't mentioned how we might manage the grain shortages.
Oh, don't you worry, my boy. The 7 high houses will be seeing to that. They have all agreed to make the most generous of donations. Oh, of course, it did take a little persuasion, But luckily I had some unexpected help.
From who?
Why, you, my boy. Rumor has it that you rescued the Lady Ariane's head steward Rockford from a horde of bloodthirsty bandits.
It was more of a handful.
Well, the old battle axe was so pleased. She had a shipload of talents delivered to my private docks by the next new moon. And when the other houses saw the parsimonious old crone's purse strings finally loosen, they as good as tripped over themselves in the rush to follow suit.
I'm happy to hear it.
Now, I must be getting back to the manor. Join us there at your earliest convenience, would you?
Of course, Uncle.
Alright, so it's not over just yet. We have to see to it that it comes to a decent completion. Rosfield Manor.
And how, pray tell, will we get that grain to the capital if the roads are still overrun with Akashic?
You'll find another bloody road. I only have so many men, and I'm not about to send them headlong into an ether flood. That is, unless you'd have them turn as well.
Well, I'd certainly eat less.
Says the man with a belly bigger than a band of curls. My soldiers actually need their rations. Without any food to keep them going, they'll be dead even before you've sent them on your fool's errand.
If I may, gentlemen, perhaps I might suggest an alternative approach. Though supply routes are indeed disrupted, there is no shortage of ships. Indeed, they bob away in every bay from here to Randalar, awaiting a safe haven. Allow them to make port and fill their bellies full of grain. And once those who crowd the cities are fed, ferry the displaced back to the countryside to work the fallow fields. But I'm sure that you wish to continue your discussion. Forgive the interruption. Two such firm friends as yourselves need no help from the likes of me. Rutherford spoke fondly of the great bond between you.
Us? Friends?
I can't stand the man.
Clive, I'm beginning to question the quality of the company you keep.
And what kind of company were you expecting him to keep? The man's a criminal.
Criminal? How dare you? You are not fit to breathe the same air as this fine, upstanding young gentleman.
Upstanding? He calls himself Sid the Bloody Outlaw!
Once more onto the breach.
Yeah, you can't have this passionate discussion if you didn't like the guy at some level.
Shall we begin again? What we seek here is not to create a new nation, nor to claim the thrones of those that already exist. We wish simply to bring stability to the realm that mankind might weather the current storm. And to do that, we must convince those in power, the generals, the statesmen, the nobles, that our cause is just. There will be disagreements, yes. And I imagine some resistance, much resistance. But we cannot let that deter us. If we show them the path, show them that we walk it ourselves, then I am confident they will follow. The fate of the world lies in my nephew's hands, but the well-being of her people lies in ours. And we must not squander the chance that Clive has given us.
Uncle Byron,
Now, with that settled, let's move on to the signing of the Accord. For what great moment in history hasn't been accompanied by a little ceremony? Citizens of Valisthea, I present to you the Tri-Unity. Rutherford, Mike Will.
At least it looks like they came to an agreement, so that's a good thing, definitely.
Well, my boy, the stage is set.
That it is.
This is the role you were born for. Now I ask only that you trust in the talents of your supporting cast. We shall play our parts to the best of our abilities, that you might have the opportunity to shine. The realm needs its Sir Crandall. And there is no better Crandall than you, Clive. want you to keep this signed accord as proof of our faith in you.
I will. Thank you, Uncle.
And this quest too is complete. The Breath of Darkness, another cooldown for one of our moves. Beautiful. Alright. That means that all quests have been done. There's only one place I need to check if there is not like a final one that pops up after we finished the ones that we just did. And I want to see the memory wall to see if it's finally completed or if we are still missing one or two pieces. Alright, let's check the map. Nothing here. Don't see a quest symbol at our letterbox as well, so it does feel like we are there finally. And we have our items decked out. We have the equipment that we want. We've tested it out on some quests as well, so I'm thinking we're doing pretty well. We're missing two. Doesn't say what it is it? Nope. I have to look it up what it is, because like I said, we've been extremely diligent about completing all the quests that we can find, and missing two means there might have been two quests we haven't seen or we haven't completed to the full completion. Or maybe it's for New Game Plus after this to get the last few items. Still proud of how far we got, because like a chapter or so ago the thing was so empty. But we got a lot through the last batch of quests. Alright, the final few letters. Safe returns. Thank you, Clive, for ever indulging the whims of this doddering old soul. I am ashamed that far too many years I allowed stubbornness and fear to keep me from something so simple as letting a friend know how proud I was of him. Your intervention has lifted the heavy pall of my heart. Perhaps upon your triumphant return from the skies you might be inclined to set to page that quill I gifted you. There are many of us who would hear first-hand account of your time with the Holy Prince, myself included. Hippocrates II. Before we depart, Ifrit, you have my sincerest gratitude for reuniting me with Master Hippocrates, that I might embark upon this most important of journeys, my heart free of regret. Though in these past few moons I have come to realize that the longer I spend in the company of you and your brother, the deeper I find myself in your debt. We must swiftly see to the menace that is Ultima, if not to save the world, is to save me from an eternity of recompense. Dion. The treasure hunt. What? You didn't think I were just saying that stuff about hiding my engine, did you? Wouldn't you know, I've already found a fine spot picked out and everything. But if you're going to go on this grand adventure, you'll need to be quick about your business with that ruddy god of yours. Take too long and somebody more clever might beat you to the prize. I suppose in that case, I could bury you in one of my lesser inventions. Goddess knows I've got countless. The greatest gift. It feels like a lifetime ago. It was a lifetime ago. That afternoon on Man's Hill was our very first adventure, but somehow I knew even then that it wouldn't be our last. I will never forget that day, and the simple fact that you have not either fills my heart with joy so fierce I cannot describe it. Since the moment we first met, you've always been an important part of me, the half that makes me whole. When times are darkest, you are my light. When I'm lost, you are my guiding star. You are just what I need. You are all that I need. You are my greatest gift, my greatest treasure. Jill. A beautiful letter of the woman he loves. And the final one. A hideaway welcome. Edda seems fond of the silver bow we gave her, so much that she's been taking to setting it atop of her belly as she rests. To hear her tell it, the rascal kicks something fierce when she does too. Sounds like we've got another fighter on our hands, and none too soon. I can hardly wait to teach our newest little curse breaker everything I know. Though I suppose we can all celebrate first. No need to get ahead of ourselves now. Gav. And that is our final letter. Well, I've done everything that I could find. Shall we look at the map just to be sure? There's nothing popped up again. Yep. All side quests done, and we are ready to make for the Halls of Origin. But that's gonna be on the next episode. Do prepare for a very long one, because I intend to finish it. If there's a perfect moment to stop it after like 45 minutes or so, then yes, definitely I will take it. But I have a feeling that once we start the fight, it's just something that keeps on going to the final credits. And if that's the way it is, it's the way it is, and we're gonna enjoy the living hell out of it. But for now, I wish you all a great night, morning, day, wherever you are. And if you're still here, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and be back next time as we make our first step toward the end of the line. See you then. Bye-bye.